All right, y'all, thanks for clicking on today's video. Have you heard about Choke Point 2.0? We're gonna be covering an article, and I'll post, as always, I'll post a link down below. And it's very interesting how they're claiming that the banking system is being weaponized, but it actually was weaponized under the Obama administration. That's kind of what the article is talking about. This is on reclaimthenet.org. Federal Reserve head is questioned on controversial debanking of disfavored individual. Quizzed on claims that the federal government is weaponizing the banking system. Now let's not mention 87,000 new IRS agents, okay? So you're going to weaponize well, first off, taxation is theft regardless, and it's unconstitutional because it's not apportioned. But regardless of all those facts, because facts are stubborn things, now they're saying that the banking system is being weaponized. During a recent House committee hearing, Chair of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, was grilled on Operation Choke Point 2.0, an alleged Biden administration effort that Representative Warren Davidson described as being particularly focused on debanking people that are disfavored by the current executive branch. Warren Davidson told Powell that he'd spoken with multiple bankers who said they've never seen a higher degree of regulatory burden, steering guidance, shaping activities in the market from regulators. He attributed this heightened scrutiny to Operation Choke Point 2.0, a reference to an alleged extension of Operation Choke Point 1.0. The first Operation Choke Point was an Obama-era debunking effort that began in 2013 and attempted to prevent gun dealers, payday lenders, and other companies that were deemed to be high risk from accessing banking services. Some people in the cryptocurrency industry claim that Operation Choke Point 2.0 is now being carried out by Biden. I also have an article on that we might cover, or I might just link it in this video down below. It has everything to do with these bankings, all the banks that were involved in the recent bailouts, and how the accusations were that this was predominantly because it was speculative and they were all associated with cryptocurrencies, basically demonizing the whole thing and just pushing for more regulation, and regulation is a fancy word for control, okay? It's a technocratic word for control. First Operation Choke Point was under Obama. When people really feel like some third party is going to steer or shape their money, they don't trust it, Davidson added. I mean, the unbanked and the underbanked, fundamentally, that's lack of trust is part of why they don't use our banking system today. In fact, that's part of the appeal of the digital asset space, the permissionless nature of it. Well, that's not good, because you must ask the crown. Davidson continued by suggesting that lots of people working in the financial services space feel threatened by the prospect of change and are attempting to restrict access to services such as cryptocurrency. I didn't know cryptocurrency was a service, but that's an interesting way of saying that. They've maybe reluctantly concluded that you can't ban crypto, Davidson said. They've maybe reluctantly concluded that you can't ban crypto, Davidson said. They at least want to keep it account-based so some third party can actually control the assets, which is a polite way of saying we don't actually trust our citizens to control their money or their assets. We'll let somebody else do it for them because we can control those third parties. Davidson then pressed Powell on whether financial regulators use their powers to control third parties. If you don't comply with the regulatory regime, you don't get to operate a financial services business, right? Davidson asked Powell. That's right, Powell confirmed. Davidson followed up by quizzing Powell on his recent remarks about digital assets posing a systematic risk to the financial system. Powell defended the comments by insisting that we don't want regulation to oppose innovation and thus entrench incumbents, but arguing that permissionless blockchains have been vehicles for fraud. And I don't know if any of y'all know of Ross, the libertarian Ron Paul guy, Ross Ulbricht, and he had started a website called the Silk Road, which was like an autonomous trading place, and he is serving 2 life sentences. This guy was convicted when he was 24. This was like a college project, and he was an Ivy League student, peaceful citizen, great guy, and he is now serving 2 consecutive life sentences because of making a website that just an autonomous way to exchange products. Of course, they demonized him and they said that, you know, it was a drug smuggling scam or something like that. This is a value for value proposition. And so if you enjoy our content and the news and information we put out there and the information and the interviews, please go to TheTexasBoys.com. Check out our awesome products. If you're not looking to buy anything right now, any edibles or anything like that, you can always buy us a coffee. And nobody has taken us up on that yet, but we do have that option if you want to buy us a coffee, because that's the way when the feds want to frame you and pin stuff on you, that's the way they do it. But Ross Ulbricht is still rotting in jail, and red team, blue team, doesn't matter who's in. You know, it's a lot like Julian Assange. It doesn't matter if Pepsi, Coke, or the Bloods or the Crips or whoever's, you know, the head puppet and the head regime or whatever. You know, these innocent people still rot in our prison planet system, our private prison system. So there's not enough people in the private prison system that's basically owned by the District of Criminals, and they get stock dividends for the private prison system. So now they want to make the entire world a prison planet and use a panopticon system and control all of our money if and when we can spend it, turn our wallet off and on, put us in 15-minute cities, control how far we can drive, where we can go, where we can't go, where the no-go zones are, how far our electric vehicle will permit us to go when they don't decide to turn off the control panel and all that good stuff. So it's all about control, and they keep ratcheting it down. And now there's Operation Choke Point 2.0, where they're already debanking people. This happened under Obama, where they were debanking people. And here's the thing with the left-right paradigm and red team and blue team, and they all want to regulate, and they never take any of these systematic parts of the beast that are put in place. They never dismantle them. They never deconstruct them. They never toss them up and throw them away. They just always want to keep the power around in case it's convenient to be used for whatever their agenda is, which is why, you know, this beast, this American beast system is just inordinately too large, you know, and it continues to grow, trillion-dollar deficits every year. And if there was any type of political person that was even worth listening to, they'd be saying, hey, let's shrink the beast. Let's cut every department, division, let's cut everything by 10, 20% or whatever. But they never want to cut anything. They just want to grow, spend. And that is the problem. And that's what makes, as it grows and as they spend, that's what makes the control more and more possible, because there's more and more people, there's more and more technocrats, right? And that's why we wanted to be like, hey, let's get out of the city. Let's get out of the densely populated areas. Let's get into a rural place where there's less people, observing everything that you do. Less people be like, oh, did you mow your grass today, Tom? Sorry, Bob, I didn't mow my yard today, Bob. Thanks, Tom. Okay, Bob. You know, so that's why we moved out into the country, so we could actually like do things that mattered and grow our own food and raise children to honor and serve God and to love our neighbors, and to just try to disconnect and detach from this just suffocating control that they keep trying to implement at every turn. And in this article, there's actually the video of the cross-examination and all that stuff. Davidson's questioning of Powell follows several examples of the financial system being weaponized against people under the Biden regime. Some card companies have started surveilling their customers, and the Biden administration is working on a digital dollar that has been described as authoritarian by critics. Powell himself has confirmed that, unlike cash, the digital dollar will not be anonymous, and that's the CBDC, that's FedNow, and you know, they continue to crank it up and ratchet it down and put coincidental occurrences in place that make it more necessary to regulate and control, regulate and control, regulate and control. And anytime anybody says the word regulate or control, it just like, yeah, I don't want to listen to you. Like, whatever you're going to say is absolutely completely worthless, because how everything has been systematically deconstructed and destroyed and ruined is by regulation and control. And it's just like Joel Salatin's book, Everything I Want to Do is Illegal. Yeah, you know, don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness, all right? And you know, the other thing is move out in the country where everybody isn't spying on you, and you can just kind of do what you want, and there aren't any regulations, and there aren't any, you don't have to get permits to do different things, you know what I mean? So that's what we're doing. I hope you enjoyed today's article, but we love you, we appreciate y'all. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.